One of them is Professor Dr. Farzand Alijan. Hello, Farzand. Are you here? Are you on the platform?
I'm fine. And along with me, Mr. Shafatullah Durrani, who is a PhD student and who worked with me on the same topic. And inshallah, very soon he will be a PhD.
Great, from Pakistan. And then second associate professor Vinay Tosh Mishra. Are you here? Are you at the platform?
I'm here.
Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. We have each presenter has 15 minutes. Please, first of all, Professor Dr. Farzand Alijan, please, you can start.
Okay.
Your presentation.
First of all, thank you to the organizing committee, the organizers, and the friends who are participating in today's online conference. My work is on the Herzberg motivators.
Farzand, could you open the camera, your camera? We cannot see you.
Okay.
It's possible.
My camera is open, is on.
On, okay. I cannot see you, but doesn't matter. Please, going on.
Camera is on.
Okay. Maybe we have a technical problem, but doesn't matter. Please continue.
Okay. So our work is on the Herzberg motivators and hygiene, and we work on the pharmaceutical sales force job satisfaction. So it's an empirical study. And
Farzand, sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Did you share your slides?
Yeah, we are sharing.
But we cannot see it. Can you share it again, please?
Is it okay now?
Now it's perfect.
Okay, that's great.
Okay. So the topic is an analysis of Herzberg motivators and hygienes influencing pharmaceutical sales force job satisfaction and motivation. So the objective is that why we selected this topic, because it was a topic of mine PhD study, and before it was a topic of one of our professor at the Ghazi University, and she worked also on the same topic. And one of our teacher, Professor Dr. Halil Jan at Hacettepe University, he was also interested in this topic, and we worked on this topic because this topic is, this area remained widely studied. It was the study of, say, sports people, doctors, engineers, faculty, and so many other, say, groups of life. And today we have selected this for pharmaceutical sales for job satisfaction. The reason behind is that in Pakistan, the population is growing very rapidly. We are having nowadays 220 million population. So similarly, when the population are more, so there'll be more and more illnesses, more and more chances of the health issues. And the salespersons or the pharmaceutical sales force persons, they will be working too much hard. And because of the COVID-19, when they were working from the home, it was very difficult for them. At the same time, the pharma industry is growing. In Pakistan, it is the third largest industry. First is cotton industry, the second is poultry industry, and the third is pharma industry. So we are having a big population. So the reason behind this is that if the sales force, they are satisfied, if they are motivated, if they work good, the pharma industry will grow. Next slide. Okay, there are rapid changes observed in the production as well as the service industries because of social, cultural, and environmental factors. And employee satisfaction is important due to use of modern technologies, methods, materials, A to B. So there is a saying, once fit, always fit. or should be always fit. So if the salespersons are once fit, and if they are satisfied, if they are motivated, they will remain motivated for a longer time. And the Americans say that the satisfied worker is a productive workers. The Japanese says productive worker is satisfied workers. So that's the reason behind this selection of this topic. So today, pharma sector is facing challenge of extreme competition, and that's why now they are relying much more on the sales force effective communication. The sales force dependency is much on the health service providers who are not the say users, the end users, but they are the influencers. And the sales force, they are working to influence the influencers. So there's a saying, to influence the influencers, because the pharma practitioners, the doctors, or the healthcare consultants, they advise the medicine. In Pakistan, we don't have a culture of that pharmacist. We do have, but not to that extent which the developed countries or even which you are having in the Turkey, they are having. Here, what the doctor prescribe, that is purchased by the patients. So research gap, for this study, we found research gap from 18 papers. The most prominent papers were of the Robert, the Fairchild, the Lembro, and the Inamdar et al. And from every research, we have taken one area. For example, Robert says that salesperson, he studies in insurance companies, but he suggested with the different demographics of the salesperson in the different sectors like pharma. Fairchild, he studies MPH, professionals at Mary Wood University, Finland, and he suggested that the study should be conducted with the expectations of the salesperson. Lembro suggested to study salary and allowances, which he found the cause of dissatisfaction in his studies sample. And Inamdar also suggested to study a sales force of pharma industries for revalidation of his findings. He also worked on this topic, but for his revalidation, he suggested to have further study. Similarly, Tek Hong and Wahid in Malaysia, their studies, and they suggested that only the lower level should not be taken as a sample, but the level 1, level 2, and the top management should also be interviewed. And in this study, we adopted the same. Bunis and Youssef 2020 suggested to conduct future research for understanding the theoretical framework of the motivational theories. So like we are having motivational theories of the Maslow, of the Herzberg, of the Room, of the McClelland, and other theories. But whether the basis of those theories are the order of the motivators and hygiene in those theories are the same as they conducted the study, or there is a difference. Next. When we study review, so first I have taken this chronological order from the past to the recent past. De Beer, in 1987, he studied gender-based study and found positive relationship between the financial and non-financial awards as well as the recognition. So most of the study which I have consulted, which we have studied, are having 4 or 5 parameters very prominently. And the most prominent is recognition. If a person is recognized, if employee is recognized, so he or she will remain satisfied and will be motivated. Similarly, Robert studied rewards, awards, and recognition. So his work was on the rewards, awards. Here, rewards as a salary, awards a special compensation, and recognition of his services or his activities. Sarvadi also studied impact of recognition, and Lembro studied motivation and job satisfaction among the doctors, nursing staff, and found recognition as a prominent factor as a prominent motivator. And similarly, Tech Hong and Wahid, they found hygiene as dominant factor of satisfaction. The other study of Mishra and Sahu, 2012, found policy and administration is a main cause of dissatisfaction. So in their study, they are saying that whenever the policies and the administration's activities or the administration planning are when they are not having shared-based decision making, so there will be a dissatisfaction. And similarly, he et al, they found workload, which usually we are having, like in Pakistan, the faculty, they are having the teaching faculty professor is having one subject and 5 students of the PhD and 8 students of the MS. Associate professor, 2 subjects, 5 students of PhD, 5 students of the MPhil or MS. And the assistant professor, they are having 3 subjects and only 5 students of the MS. And the lecturers, they are having 3 to 4 subjects, but they don't have, say, research. They are only conducting internship programs or similar other small activities. So he says that if the workload is balanced and there are training opportunities, so they will be the major factors for satisfaction. Here the training means on-the-job training as well as off-the-job training. And in the pharma sector, we are having local-based training, and in Pakistan, mostly the pharma industries, they are taking their field force for the training abroad. And so many times, particularly the multinational companies, they are arranging training sessions, training opportunities at Istanbul, at Eskişehir, and so many other major cities. Sharifi, who studied in Sudan and studied Salesforce, studied in Finland-based companies, and found that financial rewards, perks, and privileges is a cause of satisfaction. Over here, the perks and privileges in the pharma industry is bonuses and their entitlement, particularly for the transport. They are given bikes, then they are given small cars, 100,000, 1,000 cc, then they are given 1,500 cc cars, then they are given 1,800 cc cars, and similarly there is increase in their fuel, and there is increase in their daily allowances. The last over here is ROPE 2023 found freedom to plan at work itself as a prominent. So freedom to work means when the sales force are given an opportunity that you can plan for your sales planning, for your sales target, and at the same time for your meeting with the practitioners. Now, though the base study of this research is Herzberg two-factor theory, but before the two-factor theory, Maslow hierarchy theory, ERG theory, room expectancy theory, McLaren acquired need theory, and Skinner reinforcement theory, these theories were also considered as a base, because most of the studies which from where we found the gap, they have used these studies in general, and Herzberg two-factor theory in particular. The research questions for the studies are the motivators lead to job satisfaction and increased motivation of pharma sales force in Pakistan? Means if the motivators are available, Herzberg say that if the motivators are available, there will be a satisfaction, there will be a motivation. But in Pakistan, we want to check it, whether it works, like these were checked in Malaysia, these were checked in the Japan, these were checked in the Saudi Arabia, these were checked in the UAE, and they found that the motivators leads to job satisfaction. But again, we wanted to check in Pakistan again. If the hygiene factors are missing, now the beauty of the Herzberg theories, that if the motivators are present, there will be a satisfaction, and the hygiene presence will not be lead to satisfaction. but it will not cause a dissatisfaction. Means there will be a quantum that will be, after having the hygiene factors, the motivation starts and the motivator will work. But the absence of hygiene factor will lead to dissatisfaction. Is there any physical and mental pressure on the field force of Pakistani pharma? Particularly, as I told you earlier, that Pakistan is a dense population country. We are having 220 million population. And similarly, the sales force, they are moving from one district to another district, from one city to another city. And there are mental pressures and there are physical. Physical means having journeys, long journeys, risk from one city to another city. And it takes some time. For example, from Peshawar to Dia Khan, it takes 8 hours journey. From Peshawar to Azad Kashmir, it takes 10 hours. And from Peshawar to Chitral, it takes more than 12 hours. So there is a physical as well as mental pressure on the sales force. Are the motivators described, concluded by Herzberg, are the same in Pakistan? So this is the beauty of this research, that we wanted to know whether the motivators and hygienes are in the same order as studied by the Herzberg, or there is a difference. And is there any interchangeable position of the motivators and hygiene factors? So this theory also studied that the motivators which the Herzberg identified are the motivators, and the hygiene which he has identified are the hygienes, or some hygiene factors are motivators in Pakistan, or some motivators are hygiene factors in Pakistan. So we studied their position too. And what are the prominent factors which directly and indirectly influence the level of satisfaction and motivation of the pharma sales force in Pakistan? So there is sometimes direct satisfaction and sometimes there is indirect satisfaction. For example, if someone is recognized, so he may not be satisfied at their time, but when he think about it, so then he can get satisfaction at a later stage. And when the financial awards are given, when the financial incentives are given, so usually the people start having a sense of satisfaction from that very moment. The research objectives are to study and enlist the major influencing factors which may lead to job satisfaction of the pharma industry. So here to give a detailed list of the factors which may lead to satisfaction. To study the role of motivators in the job satisfaction and its leading to motivation. So it is not important that there is a job satisfaction, there will be motivation too. Sometimes there is satisfaction, but when a person gets tired, so there is no motivation. And usually the pharma industry, the pharma people, they are having visits to doctors. They are sometimes exposed to disasters, and they are sometimes exposed to the various issues in the hospitals. So they may be satisfied with the financial award, they may be satisfied with the recognition, but they may not be motivated to have more and more visits. To analyze the role of hygiene and again to check its absence, if noted, are causing dissatisfaction, means if there are some hygienes, the absence of hygiene, they cause dissatisfaction or not. To test Herzberg two-factor theory by making a sample of sales force from the pharma industry of Pakistan. To check the chronological order of the motivators and hygiene factor, which may be the contribution to the theory. And to study analyze the turnover of sales force because of the provision and non-provision of the motivators and hygienes by the employers. Here I would like to share with you that in Pakistan, we were having multinational companies. But with the passage of time, the multinational companies, they closed their ventures in Pakistan, and all those industries or all those companies are run by the local business community. So over here is that there is a turnover of the sales force, and the turnover is because of so many reasons. For example, one of the major reasons is that the multinational companies, they were providing much more facilities, and the local-based companies, they are not providing the same. Similarly, the recognition and the policies of the multinational were at the highest level, while the local companies, they don't have the same. And lastly, the factor of starting own businesses in Pakistan, when they cross the age of 50, the Salesforce people, so then they usually start their own businesses, their own franchising, their own distribution setup. And now they were having their sale experiences. So some of the owners who pass through tough time, they also give a tough time to their employees. And because of that, the Salesforce are not satisfied.
His previous experience, past experience.
So here is a problem statement. Most of the pharmaceutical companies and major, wholesale distribution and sales promotion setups try to keep young and energetic sales force. And whenever they attain the age of 50 years plus, so they are laid off. This is one of the reasons why they are laid off, because they consider that the young people, they can work hard and they are energetic. And when they cross 50, so they become old and they cannot be having the same energetic, activities or duties. Major pharmaceutical companies and distribution firms are having direct liaison with the healthcare consultants. Now in Pakistan, it is a trend that the manufacturing companies, they are having close relationship with the hospitals, with the government departments, and with the other agencies. And the pharmaceutical sales force, they are just only, liaison people, and there is a downsizing because of which the reason of dissatisfaction start means in the past they were having much more employees, but with the increased digitalization, increased connectivities through other media, so the sales force, they are losing their job. Sales force are open to many other physical issues like road accidents, because they are having much more journeys on the bikes to the villages. They are also losing their hearing because all the time they are having use of cell phone. And when they are using cell phone too much, so they are having hearing issues, and there are some health issues too. Pharmaceutical companies and distribution organization are increasing monthly sale target. Means, for example, if this month, suppose I'm sales force of the pharma industry, and if I'm having a target of 1 million, so next there is a target for 1.2 million, and the next 1.3 million, 1.5 million, and there is no end to having such targets all the time. And there is a chance of immoral activities. They are giving commissions and they are giving bribes to the doctors, and sometimes they work in the other territories. Promotion of the companies which were delayed, feeling dissatisfaction, means the companies, they are providing opportunities. I'll give you one example. In the 80s, we were having sales representatives. Then they changed the sales representative into professional representative, and then to the product managers and so many others. But when the promotion start, and it is, say, on regular basis, so there is a satisfaction. But if there is delay in the promotions from level 1 to level 2 or level 2 to top level, so there's a dissatisfaction. And when by the age of round about 50, most of the sales force are stands retired by the manufacturing units and usually start their own shops, and they give tough time to their employees too. Next. So here is, as I told you earlier, that in Pakistan we are having too much population. So we are having a third, say, largest industry of the pharma. Per annum is a $3.2 billion business from Pakistan. There are 759 manufacturing and 25 multinational corporations active in Pakistan. And here we have given the distribution province-wise. We are having major 4 provinces, and now there is another province of Azad Jammu Kashmir. And we are having almost 11,000 employees, sales force of the say pharma industries.
Here, Professor Farjant, let me give you last 5 minutes, please.
Okay, just time.
Yes.
Yes, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Thank you for your understanding.
Yes, so sample of the study, as I told you that in Pakistan we are having 4 provinces, so we have taken sample from the sales force, level 1, level 2, and the top level. And in sample size, we were having 180 from the level 1, 90 from the level 2, and 15 directors from the top level. The data was collection through a questionnaire having 2 parts. Part A was demographic characteristics, and part B was having questions on 5-point Likert scale. And the questionnaire was adapted from Umar, then Khalid, and of mine study. This is the research model. Variable of the study was achievement, recognition, work itself, responsibility, advancement, and professional advancement. These were motivators. And in the hygiene, there was administration control, interpersonal relationship with the high-ups, with the co-workers, salary, and personal life. At the same time, interpersonal relationship with the subordinate status and trust, and the motivators lead to job satisfaction, and the absence of the hygienes lead to dissatisfaction. So here is a main crux of the, say, our study. Herzberg orders of motivators is achievement first, recognition, work itself, responsibility, advancement, and professional advancement. These are the Herzberg motivators order. Similarly, these are the Herzberg's hygienes order: administrative control, interpersonal relationship, working conditions, salary, and followed by other factors. When the same was studied by Draft in 1990, so he found a change in the motivators and a change in the, say, hygiene. And when I studied in 1994 in my PhD, so there was again change in the motivators and again change in the hygiene orders. Now, finding of the study, after having statistical analysis of findings, order of the Herzberg motivator and hygienes were showing variation in this study when taken into comparison with the past studies. Motivators in the order of recognition, achievement, advancement, work itself, responsibility, and financial as well as non-financial rewards. So in the other theories, in the other research, financial and non-financial rewards were the hygienes. In our study, these are the motivators. In hygiene were working conditions, salary, organization policy regarding working hours and training, interpersonal relationship, particularly at zones, level heads, and status, as well as job security. Now here, the young sales force were found more satisfied with the motivators and hygiene, particularly with the recognition and training both local and abroad. Those who are having duties in the rural areas, they were found more satisfied as compared to the cities. And sales force who were having university regular education with the science subject were more motivated and satisfied because they were having more opportunities for advancement. And there's a great satisfaction with the interpersonal relationship, particularly with the medical practitioners. The sales force who are controlled by the head offices on cell phones were having less satisfaction because sometimes there was say connectivity issues and the bosses were using harsh languages and they were considered they are not giving attention to the calls. And the last slide says that the sales force persons who are on the payroll of multinational companies showed overall satisfaction with the recognition, advancement, and financial rewards. And the MNCs, which got converted into the local setup, created the fear of job security, and the employees were in search of alternatives. Most of the employees are having less interest in the pursuing health practitioners because in Pakistan, we are having now health card system, and the health card system, every person can go and he can get hospitalization without any issue. So the Salesforce persons, their influence is becoming less and less. And because of the inflation, it is very difficult to purchase medicine, and the companies are giving more and more high targets. Salesforce who are working in the distribution setups were found less satisfied. Social stress of the Salesforce was on one side, demotivating factors because most of their classmates. So here I give you one example, that the students who were in the 10th class, who were in the inter class, who were in the university, and some of them were doctors and some of them joined as a Salesforce. So when they joined the Salesforce, so they are having friendship with the doctors and they consider that why I'm not a doctor. But on the other side, they are very happy because they are having close relationship. So they are recommending their family members, their friends to the doctors, and the doctors are giving services. So on the one side, it is the satisfaction. On the other side, it is the dissatisfaction. And during COVID, it was very difficult to work from home and the targets were difficult to achieve. So there was tremendous decrease in the financial incentives, which created dissatisfaction. And thank you very much. This is all.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Keşke ben Türkçe'de hepsi söyleseydim daha iyi olacakmış.
Daha iyi olur. Yeah, but we understand. Thank you for your presentation. We appreciate it. It's your contribution so important. Every year you gave us very important contribution. If we,
sir, along with me, my student is sitting, so he will just say a few words.
Yeah.
please.
Shafat, my name is Shafatullah Durani. I'm doing my job in the pharmaceutical industry, and I'm in this industry for the last 22 years, and working as a sales manager north. And now I'm doing PhD under the supervision of my great sir, Dr. Farzand Alijan, and I have vast experience of pharma industry. And why I selected this topic, because it is a huge contribution in the Pakistan overall economy. If you look at to the contribution, 3.2 billion is a big industry as compared to the rest of the industry. So that's why we choose this topic, because the Salesforce can make more money or add more value to the company. So that's why we selected this topic. Yeah.
Thanks.
And thank you very much, sir, for your listening me and my professor, Dr. Farzand Alijan, and your time, your precious time you given us to present, sir, this paper.
And
Shafat, it's our pleasure.
Salam to all friends. Salam to all friends.
It's
With
our
two hands,
pleasure.
sir. Salam with two hands.
Alaikum. I hope
Salam
we will
alaikum.
come to physically in Turkey again.
Thank you very
Again,
much.
Thank you. Our next presenter, keynote speaker, let me give you a name. Associate Professor Vinay Tosh Mishra, College of Healthcare Management and Economics, Gulf Medical University. Welcome to our session, Associate Professor Mishra. Please introduce yourself and start your presentation.
Yeah. Vinay Tosh Mishra. Actually, I'm originally from India, but I'm settled in UAE now and Gulf Medical University. Basically, I'm engineer, electronics engineer, then in management, and then healthcare management. I did PhD and then postdoc in public health. So that is the thing. And medical professional education, I am also doing my second PhD. So that's my brief profile. I'm a system thinker. I'm certified system thinker from MIT, and I do research in that area. I'm a member of System Dynamic chapter in India. I'm starting another one in UAE also, for this region also. I'm connecting with people who like-minded people who can apply system thinking to improve healthcare. And that's why I'm presenting this talk. And I believe there will be some students, they will be feeling motivated and they can take it as an option, because earlier system thinking was very difficult to practice. And now tools has arrived that it's become very easy to practice system thinking approach and it can solve many problems. So I started from public health. I'm now venturing into solving real problems related to even insurance and everything. So that is brief introduction.
By the way, do you have any document or presentation, or you speak spontaneously?
No.
This?
I will. I have created a presentation also.
Okay.
Let me upload the. My screen is visible now. Yeah. Is it visible?
Yes, we can see your presentation. We can see you clearly again.
Yes. So we are now. So this is me briefly. And these are the problems in healthcare: access to healthcare, rising healthcare cost, quality of healthcare, chronic disease management, health disparities, providers burnout, and that is HR related problem. We go and we try to solve one HR problem in healthcare and then one another surface in. So how to thinking holistically using system approach so that we can solve the problem. That is the theme of my today's talk. Health policies, if you talk about, then there is value crisis in healthcare, everyone discussing, and we blindly follow US. And because of that, we actually start developing our capability according to US, and then it doesn't fit our culture. And sometimes it is means unintended consequences are there in future, and which should be avoided. So system thinking approach. Dynamic complexity in healthcare, you never know which type of healthcare demand will be there. Unfortunately, in Turkey, last 3 months were very bad, and it's not and hopefully Turkey recovered from that. So emergency healthcare needs can come. So healthcare like Corona came, and then in that time also everywhere in this world there were healthcare need. So this, if you talk about health system, and the workforce is one of the part of that, is a subsystem, then it is dynamic and it is complex also. It is very difficult to understand. In case of healthcare, there are different speciality, different need. Management is one only. There is clinician, there are physiotherapists, there are medical nutrition therapists, so on and on. And then there are disease specific hospitals, which we call integrated practice unit. Those are also coming into picture. I will discuss all those things, give a word eye view without making it too complicated, so that if someone get interest in this area, I will be happy to collaborate with that. Falling rate of innovation is one problem which is we are witnessing, and we should analyze that. But I will not go in that detail for this presentation, because I will try to focus with human resource problem, because the theme of conference is about that. Policy resistance in healthcare, with an example of healthcare I will discuss. Unintended consequences, already I told you. So this is the agenda. Then change in approach is required. Why we should move from linear thinking to system thinking? No, adopting a system thinking approach to healthcare improvement has been recommended always. Why? I just discussed in last slide. This approach can improve the understanding of current work process and predict system behavior to design modification. Look, the things are interacting with each other, and 1 + 1 is never what you say 2. It is going to be sometime 11, and sometime it's going to be 0 also. So how these things are interacting, those we never analyze. We think in terms of silos. That approach should be not there. And I will discuss again with HR examples only I will take today, but I'm open to discuss in case of public health, anything system thinking approach, which I advocate. The approach can improve understanding of current work process. Already I discussed. System thinking involves exploring the characteristics of the component within a system and how they interconnect to improve understanding of the outcome. That we call in system thinking parlance as an emergence. Despite being acknowledged as necessary, because it was founded by, if any one of you is from engineering background, this J.W. Forrester in 1957 in MIT. But it was there, and it became a cult kind of thing that MIT people do system thinking. In India, IIT KGP people do system thinking. In UK, Cranfield people do system thinking, and system dynamics, of course. But it was not coming. Now its time has come, and WHO document was also there how to use system thinking. So everyone should adopt it at different level, and then there will be emergence and better healthcare system across the globe. So So despite being acknowledged, not being utilized. And why it was not? Because we have limitation of mental models. And there is a famous theory of 7 plus minus 2. When you start analyzing more than 9 of things at a time, we have some limitation of our brain capability. But now models has come and software has come like Bensim, Stella, and many are there open source, and even R is now capable. You can do a lot of things. So that's the thing. There is a need to assess accessible exploitation or exposition of system thinking to promote application in healthcare that I already discussed. Now to first we are going before let you understand what is the system. So system thinking is a vantage point which you see a whole wave of relationship. You are living in a mansion or a big palace. You will not realize the beauty of palace unless you will go away from the palace and you'll see. Otherwise, the rooms are only a limited level. You go and there will be emergence, and that emergence is called palace. So health system. You think about public health, you think about governance, you think about hospital, you think about tertiary care, but you will take vantage point view, then you will realize, is it working? And for many, US healthcare system works very fine, but the vantage point view will take, there are inefficiency, they are facing from value crisis, and the things come. So system thinking is a perspective of seeing and understanding system as a whole. A whole's not a should be whole, rather than a collection of part, and a whole is a web of interconnection that create emergence patterns. So look, in India, they are advocating about this universal health coverage, Ayushman Bharat, that came, but that created a missing middle. Means for lower government having an insurance, upper income group, they can afford, but the missing middle people, actually inflation increased in healthcare because of this insurance availability, and they were again suffering. So they were became even worse at the risk of health. So that's the thing. These are all things are concept are proposed in this Peter Senge book, the fifth discipline. That's fine. Now the system thinking is the approach we should apply. This is now established. So now think about what is a system. System is a component of three things: an element that I'm saying that. So see, a larger system will be there. There will be subsystem. Then that subsystem can again have another subsystems. So my what I advocate, generally you divide your system into 7 subsystems. Then each subsystem, then you're thinking about, again you divide into again 7 subsystem, and you, depending on how much abstraction you want and how much detailing you want. All time a detail is not required. Take my word this time. And this happens. So 7 plus minus 2 golden rule means we'll be following. So these are elements. They are interconnected. There are purpose or function for which the system is. Why the system is? System is to improve physical, mental, and social well-being. And of course, I add religious well-being also, or spiritual well-being of people. So to define it more cohesively, a system is a set of elements that are interconnected in a way and achieve the sum function. The problem is these interconnections are very, very vaguely defined now, and many connections are there. So numerousness and vagueness is actually making this system very complex, and they are adaptive also. So adaptive, why? Because this corona became, but new corona will come, will be better prepared. So the system has adapted certain things. So that's why this is called CAS, complex adaptive system. So healthcare is a complex adaptive system, and I call it CDAS, complex dynamics adaptive system. So that's the thing. Understanding with the example, I will not give this, but only one example I will give. Time limitations are there. Like adaptive management is a team. So DAPT is, you want to provide something that is care, and adaptive team is a system now. I'm not talking about hospital as system. Now I'm saying that DAPT team is a system now. It had many subsystems like nutritionist, clinical nurse, doctor, dietitian, and physical therapist. So this is delivery system in there. Now, when you will analyze, these are all connected to each other. Now, pharmacists should be also there. I'm missing that. Even because the medication adherence is another bigger problem in diabetes. So, and clinical psychologist I include because the coping is there, and coping should be also supported by some religious people and spiritual people. That all things are there. But when you start defining it, it becomes more complex. So systems, but abstraction. I mean, what level of this I want to define? So in this here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 6, 7 I have taken. So this fine. Then further I want to go into this clinical psychologist or coping as a coping system. Then I will define in that clinical psychologist, family, friends, and then again religious leaders, depending on your religion, Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, or Christian you are, and you can do that. So it's fine. So these are the system. The characteristics of system are complex. I already told the system consists of many numerousness. I told change in one area can unpredicted effect elsewhere. Like see, if you are doing automation and like during ChatGPT for doing triaging, no. So suppose nurses are there in your hospital, they will become some of the low skilled nurses will become jobless. So one way you are doing certain thing, then unintended consequences is the low skilled people will not think about, will not consider now healthcare as a what you say career option. And then what will happen? Less people will be attracted, which is low skilled people will be attracted to healthcare. Now the work other than which can ChatGPT can do, because humans adopt early, will not be done, will be done by the people who are doctors and highly skilled. So their time will be not properly utilized, their productivity will fall, or healthcare will be suffering. So see, the simple thing of automation, you did something else. The other idea, I suppose, is the person you are removing because of this ChatGPT application in trials and what you say reception, you shift them to home care, you make them buddy, companion to those people who are lonely, who want. Why not to train them? Some have religious things, tax, and involve them in coping, which actually right now ChatGPT cannot do. So why not to think about that? So that, and pay them high, pay them, they give them career option, not only removing the jobs or cutting the job, you manage their career. Other people will be not attracted to healthcare, low skilled people, and then that will affect the productivity of this tertiary care and other skills. So these are called, these things are interconnected. These are unintended consequences. We don't see future far ahead, and we take decisions and then something happens. So this was HR perspective. Adapt to this condition and goal conflict even each other. As I told, to understand clinical results, safety, and other emergent behavior in a system, we need to consider how outcomes emerge. As I was saying, like ChatGPT, you are introducing in some automation part. Okay, it is bringing efficiency, but the person should be given a career option and trained and engaged somewhere else. So that's my idea. Then fallacies and inadequacies in system. So despite healthcare system complexity, we often treat problem and issue in a simpler linear form. No, we say that this will happen and then my cost will decrease. Oh, you are removing a receptionist now. Because of that, people will start taking the career as a healthcare. Your doctor will be doing receptionist job also. Then you will be required to hire 2 doctors. Actually, your cost is going to increase in future, and even outcome is decreasing. So we defined value as a outcome divided by cost. So then your value is falling, and value is falling, then customer dissatisfaction, that is essence of any business, and then your business will go. So that's the simpler and many complicated problems often have predictable and linear cause and effect relationship. We do that, we do regression, we are establishing, we are doing SCM. You're not thinking holistically. That is the problem. These optimization is nice thing, but these are called hard system thinking approach. The thing which I'm saying is this is soft thinking approach, and that should be practiced to solve problems. The outcomes may be due to increased interaction in different healthcare professionals, resulting already I discussed, like in case of integrated practice unit of migraine or diabetes or any vascular complication, many doctors are involved in that. Healthcare system require a more nuanced and comprehensive understanding to develop effective intervention and improve quality of care and patient safety. So that's why the system thinking is more required in healthcare. Now, this is Eurocontrol system thinking principle. These principles you should have. There should be a foundation concept. Seek multiple perspectives. Involve everyone before taking decision. Consider work conditions because context is important in healthcare. Analyze interaction and flow. Understand why decision makes sense at that time. Maybe tomorrow it will not make sense. Explore performance variability, and you And in management, we try to minimize it, but that is not only thing. For variability minimization, implementing Six Sigma and all, that's fine. That is hard system thinking, but you should first solve the problem. And then it comes how you will be solving that. Putting the things in right perspective. This is your healthcare system. No, everyone, doctor's perspective is different. Pharmacist perspective is different. This administrator perspective is different. And it's very difficult for a HR professional to manage those things and how they want to contribute. Everyone thinks that they are the king. No, nowadays. And highly motivated people are there, highly ambitious people are there. It's become very difficult. They have different perspective. So that then there is the thing also in our organization behavior. We called contract with organization. No, you have kind of, you want to contribute toward the goal of organization. So that is also a system approach, how every element is contributing toward that goal. Unintended consequences, already I told you want to solve one problem and you are leading into another. This image is very funny, but it actually, the lady jumped from jump pad and it went from to escape from fire and she landed on somewhere else. So the same thing is happening. I told you, ChatGPT trying to solve problem by automation. Automation is creating another problem in future. You will not finding people for your work because they will be not attracted toward your work. And that actually happened in IT, and that's a different thing, but I will this is another thing, survivorship bias and lesson for public health. It's not class actually, otherwise I ask questions to my students. This is a plane and it has actually bullets are there, mark of bullets are there at different places. So what will be your approach after seeing this? No, you will analyze and you will strengthen those places where bullet was hit, thinking that the probability of bullet hitting that place is high, and so I should strengthen that. This is the linear thinking approach, and this you are actually taught about. The thing is, these places where bullet hit actually were strong enough, no, where, and that's why ship survived. You strengthen other places also. No. So this is another perspective. And this is a boiling frog syndrome policy in HR actually happens. We don't take things, means we ignore the signals, no, coming from HR, this employees, high value employees, and the signals keep coming and we keep ignoring, and someday that doctor or that highly skilled what you say healthcare professional leave our organization, and then we never find that. In healthcare, doctor's name is very much contributes in means branding of a hospital. So that gives a signal. The boiling frog syndrome is you will be there because doctor think that doctor or that the professor in healthcare, they are not having a job till there, they will be fine. They will be taking everything which you are saying, and that at the same time they will be sending their resume to different hospitals also, and the day they will get job offer, they will not hear you, they will go, and that day it will be too late. This is boiling frog syndrome in policy making of HR, and this should be taken. But then there is bad luck. No, bad luck could actually be good in system, we call it, and there's a NOAA effect. The NOAA effect is one person was having a dog actually, and he was walking in a street with his dog and dog ran away. He was very sad that dog ran away. But when beautiful lady came up with that dog in search of that, who is the owner of that, or then they met, they married then, and then they were having life really good. Then they were going someday with in car, and then car met an accident. Then again, this boy was thinking, oh, why God, why this happened to me? Why Allah has so much misery in my life? Then he was scanned, and it was diagnosed that there was a tumor in brain. Early detection, treatment occurred, and then person was happily lived thereafter. The thing is, because these are opportunities. So that same thing I'm saying, in attrition of doctor in hospital, you get signals. You get sometime they sometimes say that we don't want to do this. That time you forcefully say that yes, you have to come, this is policy, these are not the better. You understand what is their undercurrent. If you're not understanding that, then it will be too late. So these are signals. Sometime an employee is behaving awkwardly, that is a signal for you. and that some unfortunate accident happened, some exchange of email happens between this patient and this doctor and this HR, that's fine. That gave you signal you can now correct, and that doctor will be with you because, and if you value them, it's fine. McNamara fallacy is in everything we do in HR also. Now HR analytics has come. Of course, it should come. I am not against it. Actually, I'm a business analytics teacher also. Apart from that, I've written book also, and I'm doing work in HR analytics, but it's fine. But the thing is, we ignore those things which cannot be measured. And on the basis of that, we create theories, we make theories, we publish it, then become practice, that becomes, and then we neglect certain things like my association with a hospital, how you will measure it. And if you have an instrument to measure it, my association depends on my personality also, how you are going to measure it. So these are the things. So the things which cannot be measured, this is shift to qualitative. At least you go for qualitative and quantitative both. And that is called multi-method analysis proposed by this Michael Jackson was one. And then one approach will be having certain blind spot, other will be having some other, and both together will address each other's, and then your system will be more safe. So that's a McNamara fallacy I always get to. Then magic number of 7 plus 2, already I have told why we should divide a system into 7 systems. So 7 plus minus 2, I always try to keep. System thinking in nutshell is a overly simple model you will use. We do regression and we make, and SEM we do, but it's a complex. So the real thing is more complex. You cannot avoid complexity. There will be interconnection. There will be a numberness. To deal with that, you need an approach, and that approach is system thinking. In system thinking, we further divide. People very much advocate design thinking. Of course, it is required, but it's for new system. Most of the system we get are designed by someone else. So you have to do. Again, the system where we are living, universe system is designed by God. So we are here. We need to understand. Then we used to follow a system thinking approach. We not. So the famous how to manage the systems. There is an iceberg theory. Then there are many things, mental models, and then underlying structure of system, then patterns we see, as I was saying, no, you will be getting angry emails from doctor, HR, and then you are not written. These are patterns that is coming under why it is happening, underlying structure. You think why it is happening, and then this event, resignation, that is react. And now this is happening, and you will not having time. You ignore the things which were not visible, explore it, and don't go only for numbers. So that is my idea. Leadership, which HR people generally are more interested in, leadership and system thinking. First, tomorrow best leader will understand everything in connected, and their choices and priority will reflect that. And second is, tomorrow's best leader will understand that system thinking applies to their own people as well, and the team you lead must be smarter than you. So don't be thinking like narcissist and all. So individual trait that enables system thinker: tolerance for ambiguity, curiosity, openness, strong interpersonal skill, strong communication skill, ask the right question, navigate complexity, and analytical ability. I'm not against that. See, it is there, but that is second level. That is hard system thinking. I'm also doing operation research and optimization, but it's fine. So this is the thing. What do we neglect in policy research? Meticulous planning is useless if your approach is wrong. I advocate system thinking approach. You are not involving many things. What is the rule of forecasting? If you have clear idea that the environment has changed significantly, you are using time series forecasting. And if past is not same as going to future, why you are using time series analysis? Why not the system dynamics and simulate around using that? So the even qualitative assessment is better idea. Other than this time series analysis. So it was so robust model you are doing. You are using ARIMA, you are doing parameters and everything. And what you are doing, the approach is wrong, then it's wrong. And then these are some tools, behavior over time. You see the patterns. I always say the future researcher will be pattern detectors, pattern analyzer. The patterns will come for artificial intelligence. You have to analyze where it is going. That, and if it is new, because system is complex and adaptive and dynamic, changing per day. Even machine is not trained accordingly. Even supervised learning is cannot be done. Unsupervised, of course, you can do. So humans will be needed to identify pattern. There is ladder of inference I will discuss. Stock and flow model and causal loop are there in system dynamics modeling, which I discuss in length. Iceberg already I have told. Connection circles are there, means everything in this world is connected to each other, and this connection has some strength. Already you people use TISM and ISM, and many methods are there, stakeholder analysis, and these things are who is power inference or dependence and driving power. These things are coming from this connection circle concept. So ladder inference is observation, then selection, then interpretation, then assumption, and then conclusion, and then action. You need to do that. I will be sharing this slide with you people, anyone who is interested, because I prepared it for, especially for this class. You can go through that. We don't have that much time. Take home message comes here. Healthcare is a complex adaptive system. Inherent complexity of system is driven by many factors. That is numerousness, interconnectedness, dynamics is changing. And in hypothesis, we test in system dynamics modeling. One tool of system thinking is dynamic hypothesis, not hypothesis, we call that. Technology can, and I told you mental model has limitation. Okay, we are evolved, but our mental model is limited. You say what is 2 to the power to 4, then I will go on 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512, and then I will 1024, and then 4000, 2048, 4096. After that, yes, it will not be there. Yes.
Okay, we have five minutes.
Okay, okay. This is last slide.
Okay.
Yeah. So that will be done. No. So that is limitation. My model has definition, but same thing you ask to a calculator. Once it is 10, it will be doing. The same thing happened for system dynamics model. Now we have tools which can be utilized and we can solve that. So only you first define problem really well and involve all stakeholder in defining that problem. You do causal loop diagram, and then you can simulate things and you can get result. So system thinking approach is to solve the problem. There are tools available that can help. System dynamics tool of Bensim is there, AnyLogic is there, and then there is Stella is there. R is also can be used. Even Python codes are there for system dynamics modeling. You can utilize that. Even cloud-based open access software are also there, open source. So mental model has limitation, but can be improved by training on system thinking. First, your mental model also can be improved. And secondly, you can use software also. So system dynamics model can be used for policy simulation in healthcare, even resource planning also. And you will be able to solve many problems like attrition, engagement, and productivity, falling productivity, motivation. You can do that. You simulate those things and you will get to do that. This is my contact detail if anyone is interested. That's all from me. I think I completed within time.
Yeah, perfect. On time. You're on time. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you. I was saying that I should finish before 6, but somehow because I started late also. That's all from my side.
Yes. We are going on another session. Thank you for your presentation, inspiration presentation. It's very beneficial for us, your perspective. And I hope we welcome to you physically in Turkey one day.
Yeah. I will love to meet you. You share your email ID to me. I will share slides so that you can share it with students there, and we can promote system thinking. And even you want to start a system thinking chapter in System Dynamics Society chapter in Turkey, your university should start. And I will be happy to be associated with that.
Communication. Thank you again. I appreciate your time, your information, everything. See you. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.